Hello and welcome to another episode of Evolve by Erica, the podcast. I'm Erica Pulsinelli, your host, and we are here to discuss all things high vibrational energy work, spirituality, meditation, and beyond. I'm so excited you are here. Come on in. Hello, friends, and welcome to another podcast. Today, I want to talk about something that it's on my mind a lot lately, and it is social media and technology. OMG. We are just expected to consume so much information during this time on the planet. And not only that, as creators, as people who get their message out through social media, we're expected to be content creating machines, and it is not okay. So I wanted to come on here today and share my thoughts about all of this and where I think we're going and where I hope we're going and all of that, all of those thoughts. So I want to take you back to 2018. I started my Instagram account in CalXCal. I started with literally 0 followers. Started fresh. I had my personal account, and I was going to do stay with my personal and then have my InCalXCal, where I would just be posting meditation and wellness and all of these things. And then I realized that I am very embodied in my work, and my work is not separate from who I am or what I do, because it's really part of my life. And I realized I would never be able to have a personal Instagram and my separate one where I was sharing this spiritual journey. I needed to truly embody that and have that be one. So I started in CalXCal, and I started with pictures. Remember those days where you could post a picture and just write like a super long caption about all your inner thoughts and all of these spiritual revelations I was having? And it was such a special time for me, and I felt so grateful to be able to share these divine nuggets of wisdom that would come through during my meditations, after my meditations. It was a beautiful time. And Instagram connected me with so many people and continues to. I'm forever grateful for Instagram. That's the truth. I would never be able to, I don't want to say never, because divine always finds a way, but it really allowed me to evolve in the way that it is today. It helped me connect with so many people. And when I first started to practice Kundalini, I just knew, the Aquarius energy in me just knew that this was something people needed, something that the world needed more access to, a more approachable access to. And I dreamed of a day where people would experience the transformations that I experienced through this and the life-altering shifts. And I get to receive DMs constantly about people who are experiencing the shifts of energy through this practice. So I'm forever grateful for how it connected me to so many of you, and helped us get through quarantine together and meditate together and feel so connected. And 2020 came, where all of us were home. Well, most of us were home, and we were left to consume content a lot because there wasn't much else going on. We wanted to stay connected. We wanted to see. It was a window into what on earth was going on during a time that we've never experienced before. And from there, time is increasing and just speeding up, and the speed of technology is at an all-time high. I cannot imagine it picking up even more. And every day we open up our phones and we consume so much. And now we're moving into video, which I love. I'm a very visual person. So I actually love creating reels. I love making reels. I love consuming and watching other reels. But it's very clear where we're going and where our attention span has gone. So a few months ago, I may have spoken about this on a podcast, I'm not very sure, but you may remember, especially if you consider yourself a content creator, which I guess if we have an online business, we kind of just develop that title as well. So I don't think that's my title. It's just something that I do to be able to put my message out there. And so a few months ago, there was a really big focus on 7-minute reels or 7-minute videos that were trending. And everyone was, talking about, these 7-minute, that's where you're going to get pushed in the algorithm if you post these 7-minute reels. And my first thought was like, okay, 7-second videos. So my first thought was like, okay, this is trending. And then I always was that person to be like, why? Like that, I feel like it's typical to have a kid who's like, but why? But that's literally how my brain works. So I thought to myself, well, this is not a good sign. That means our attention span is now down to 7 seconds because time and technology is moving so quickly. And I was an elementary school teacher before I started Evolve. As many of you know, if you listen to this podcast and listen to the first few episodes of my transition into this space, what that means for our kids, because let me tell you, I taught third grade. They are all on TikToks, most of them. Some parents have really strong boundaries with technology, but a lot of them are on TikTok. And if as adults we have an attention span of less than 7 seconds, I don't know what that means for our kids. So that is definitely something I find very alarming. I love that we're transitioning into video and visual, and technology is wonderful. But the fact that our attention span is pretty much non-existent is a little frightening. But there's good that comes out of this, and then there's the not so good that comes out of this. We're able to get information quickly. We're able to learn concepts and have access to information that we've never been able to before in a very short amount of time, which is inspiring, which is we're very well informed and educated. And in a way, because there's also a lot of information out there where we have to kind of decipher what is real and what may not be real, what's in alignment with my truth and what's not in alignment with my truth. And this is a time that was predicted, and this is written about in the yogic scriptures, and Kundalini focuses a lot on the time of information, the age of information, also known as the Aquarian age, where we can develop something called mega information syndrome, and there's a specific meditation for that, which I should put out soon. And it helps our brain to be able to take a pause and give it what it needs in this time of over information where we are just bombarded with so much. So I feel right now, during the time that we're living in, some things are absolutely essential. And you already know that I think a meditation practice is essential. So we're not even going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about other things that I feel we need to do in order to ground ourselves into the present moment while we're consuming a ton of information on social media. And I also want to share some things that I'm going to be focusing on and what you can expect of me. And I want to hold myself accountable here. So the first thing that I think we need to do as a collective is be aware of how much time we're spending on the screen and ground back into this reality, because that is a whole different portal to a whole different reality. And I spoke about this in my last solo episode, how sometimes I can literally feel like I stepped out of one dimension into another when I put my phone down. So being aware of how much we're consuming, how much we're scrolling, being observant of the type of information we're taking in. So what I intend to do is use more of the notifications, being in the loop on the creators that uplift me, that educate me in the way that I wish to be educated, that allow me to feel good and allow me to feel like my highest self. If I consume content that doesn't align to those things, I'm not subscribing to that. I'm not consuming that. So being very aware of what we're consuming. So in the time that we're scrolling, we're taking in what's going to serve us rather than what's going to deplete our energy. Spending time in nature. It's so essential while we're connected to these devices. So obviously, you know me, I love being near the ocean. We get those negative ions. We're literally cleansed of EMFs when we're in nature, as close to the ocean, maybe in the ocean if you can. When we're in nature, we're able to connect back, release and clear the EMFs from our system, from our aura, and truly recharge in nature. And nature is very slow moving. Think about the time it takes for a leaf to produce, or the leaves to turn and fall, or for a flower to sprout and grow and blossom. Nature moves really slowly. So being able to go into that space and allow yourself to feel that energy and that the slow speed of nature can really help to balance out our energy for this. Taking time to be present, whether that's in nature or not. Taking time, this is something I've been doing to ground as I transition from working with technology and back into this realm. Taking a sensory walk. So allowing myself to just look around and observe what is around me. So looking at the trees, looking at the space right below my feet or right in front of my feet, bringing me into the here and now. What's happening here and now, and staying in that moment. You can also do that by activating your senses. So using essential oils, burning incense, burning Palo Santo, watching or staring at the flame of a candle. Those are all things that can bring you into the present moment. Another thing that I like to do to transition and bring myself back into my body, my energy field, and out of technology is rubbing my palms together and putting my hands on my body or over my third eye, feeling the vibration, bringing myself back into my body. So with the increase in content that's expected to go out and the amount of sharing that's expected, I want to, I guess, realign would be the word, but I never actually felt out of alignment. But I want to share all the things that I find value in that feel so aligned to me and not necessarily what the algorithm's going to like. So it helps so much if, and so many of you share on your stories or like and comment. It helps tremendously. So if you do like a post, I would feel so grateful to have you, of course, comment on it, leave a message or reshare it. There's never pressure. I'm not asking you. I'm just telling you that if you enjoy it, if you want to see more of it, it helps by engaging in that way. But I intend to really stay focused on the messages that I feel I want to share, messages that I enjoy receiving through Divine and wanting to share with you, and content that can uplift, content that can feel good, energize you, and also give you the tools to feel like your highest self. So those are some of my most important I guess goals or morals or ethics that I have with what I put out there. My intention is to help you feel inspired. So anytime I'm sharing a success story of mine, it's with the anticipation, of course, to celebrate my journey, but more importantly, to celebrate to share that frequency. So hopefully you can take that and bring that into your life, and know that whatever it is possible. To share with you the importance of meditation and what it could do for us, give you tangible ways of practicing regulating your nervous system and living your most aligned life. So those are some of the things that I want to really focus on. And then my goal is to throw in a little bit more humor here and there. I got such great feedback on the full moon reel I did, where my husband was going out and I was going to do all my, my spiritual stuff, because that's so real, and it's funny because it's so relatable. So feeling a little bit more confident to put some silly, funny stuff out there, because that's really my life, where I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited to do all the things and just go within, soak in a bath and chant mantra and feel my whole body buzzing and vibrating, and all of those things. It's a very funny dynamic when we put it that way. So that's another intention I have that you can look out for. But if you're feeling overwhelmed right now by social media, you are not alone. If you're feeling like you need more social media breaks, you're not alone. If you find yourself on Instagram scrolling unconsciously, not even knowing how you freaking ended up there, you're not alone. It is very, very addicting. It's very enticing, and it just pulls us in. And it's an investment of our time and our energy. So I felt guided to have this conversation around this, so we could just bring more awareness to what we're consuming, and how we can offset the symptoms or the energy of overinformation or mega information syndrome, and be able to find more balance. And that's what this season of fall is all about, being able to find more balance. So setting rules and guidelines for yourself. Maybe you wait until a certain time of the day to open up the phone. Maybe you have a cutoff. I'm trying to have 8 p.m. as my cutoff. It's very hard. But just trying to put some boundaries in place, because we could truly live in that space, and it is a completely different dimension. That's the message and the energy that I keep receiving and feeling through technology. So, and like I said, there's so many things to be grateful about, but with everything that we're grateful for, we still need boundaries with. So I would love for you to share some of the boundaries you have. You could visit this Instagram post where I share the highlights of this episode, and share with me some of the boundaries that you have in place, and we can help each other and be able to really access the beauty that this brings, rather than some of the negative, I guess we could say, side effects from what we can experience. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening in. I love to hear your feedback. And I will see you next time. Thank you. May the longtime sun shine upon you. Sat Nam.